Welcome to the latest episode of Mania live here in London at FinTech Talents Festival. I'm your host, Ixon Mbang, and I'm so pleased to introduce our next guest, Elise from Tide. Hi, Elise.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, thank you.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so welcome to the Enfuce sauna. How are you finding it here?
It's very, very cozy.
Exactly. Well, we're so glad to have you here on the latest episode. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your role and Tide and what you do?
Sure. So I'm a head of product at Tide. I'm responsible for identity and access management and onboarding.
Lovely. And what about Tide and what you do? What Tide
So Tide is a leading business financial platform. So we offer financial tools for SMEs and entrepreneurs.
So we're here at FinTech Talents for the conference, and I saw that you're a speaker here as well.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the panel and what you've been speaking about.
So today I'm going to talk about transaction monitoring and how we can better protect our customers in these challenging times of fraud.
Yeah. And what do you think are going to be the most looking forward topics that you want to speak on today in that?
Well, I think for me, what I see in the future is it's frankly going to be harder and harder to allow genuine transactions to happen. So it's the type of fraud, the number of scams, the scale of it is just can be quite overwhelming. So we need to really ramp up on our models to better prepare and also to educate our customers on what's to come.
Yeah, because it's all well to have the prevention from the business point of view, but to educate the consumers is like the hardest thing.
Yes, so for the victims, the people that can be defrauded or can become victim of a scam, we have to work with them. They are our best option to fight crime, because if they realize something is happening to them, then they can stop, and then it's a way of having a positive outcome, right? So in order to do that, we really need to think about how our models can detect anything that is out of the ordinary in a transaction, and then tell the end user, the customer, that something is happening. So really what we want to do is to break the spell. Because if you think about fraud, scams, people are falling under the spell of the fraudster. They will believe them. They use all the psychology tricks in the book to make them believe them. And on the other side, we don't have a human behind every of our user, right? So we need to find systematic but efficient way of warning of our users, of making them understand that something doesn't look right, for them to react and to take the right decision.
Yeah, and it's become even more convincing, like more now than ever, and you can, never tell nowadays.
Of course,
right?
I mean, of course, with the likes of AI, even ChatGPT, the email, they look perfect, even if it's written by a non-native English speaker. So it's getting really, really hard. And I would say as well, we don't want to go on the other side of the spectrum, where we tell people to be careful all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I always use this analogy. So if I were to tap on your shoulder, the first time you look at me, you acknowledge me, you listen to what I'm going to say. If I do that every 5 minutes, and I'm sitting behind you at a conference, you will politely ignore me, and then you will try to move to a different seat. And when I do have something important to tell you, you will not listen. It's exactly the same for our customers. If we show them prompt warnings telling them this could be a scam, do you trust this person, every single time they will just not listen. So it's completely counterproductive. So that's where using our models to detect any abnormality in anything out of the ordinary, and then telling them at this time and not anywhere else, precisely at this time, can really make a difference. So if the first time I tap on your shoulder, I do have something to tell you, because I do think you can be victim of a fraudster, you can be social engineered, that's the best time to do it, the first time, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's a great analogy too, and how we can help the customers. So also on leading to the next question as well, and of course head of product, and with your area of expertise in this, how do you see, especially in fintech, how do you factor in security?
Well, I mean, for me, security is really at the heart of the user journey, right? From the moment they onboard to the time they decide to close the account, security should always be there. It has to be embedded in every single user flow, user journey. And that's where we need to be clever, because we can see here at the festival today, we have so many great technology, so many amazing solutions that we can embed into our flows. But if we don't understand the when and the where, the solution can be as clever as it can. If it doesn't resonate with the human being at the other side of the screen, it will be useless. If we ask people to do a selfie every time they do a transaction or every time they do something on the app, they will not understand why. They will see it as an ineffective friction, and then it will not solve our problem of preventing fraud and scams.
And of course, for the customer, they want the smoothest, like, you know, the UX journey,
Of course,
UI journey.
they want the smoothest,
possible.
the fastest, and they also have an attention span which is quite small, because a lot of us, we are on multiple apps at the same time. If you lose a bit of the connectivity, you switch to something else.
Instantly,
so
yeah.
you really have to take that into account. So it's not a question of not wanting to pay attention or not being clever enough. It's not that. It can happen to everyone, because that's just the way we do it. And again, fraudsters, they know it. They know the psychology of the user. They know when is the best time to call, when we feel more vulnerable or less inclined to pay attention. So all of that they know. So we should know as well. So really my message is, you have clever solutions, great. Now think and spend maybe as much time and much resources thinking, where should I put this great solution so the friction is effective, the user understands what we're doing, and the user is protected.
Yeah, absolutely. And I 100% agree with that message too. And lastly, what are you most looking forward to in the payment space as we head into 2025?
Yes, I think so. Seeing today all the different people in the industry coming together to fight fraud and scams, to protect our users better, I'm really enthusiastic and hopeful that 2025 is going to be a great year. I think we've learned that we're stronger together, so data sharing is key. And we can see with the likes of the COP, when we understand who is the person behind the bank account better, then we can inform the user if we see any discrepancy. And that was possible by sharing all together the data as an industry. So I think we're really going to continue to grow in that direction, to let each other know if we see any fraudsters, so they can't reopen accounts again and again across the different companies. So a lot of sharing, but I'm very hopeful seeing conferences like today and panels like today that we will get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thanks so much for sharing your insights with us today, and thanks for being a guest on Mania.